All right, guys, good morning. How's everyone doing? Let's go ahead and get started today. Monday, November 22nd. So my birthday is in a month from now. December 22nd. That's my birthday. So one more month till birthday time. Yeah, so looking like a good morning this morning. Nice move to the upside. NASDAQ, Dow, S&P all up about 0.3%. So looks pretty good. Looks pretty good so far. The normal movers are still moving. Nvidia, Amazon, Tesla, some nice moves. Roblox up this morning. Upstart up slightly this morning. Facebook up slightly this morning. AMD, you got a little bit of movement on GameStop this morning. So we got some movers this morning. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, anything can happen. We could go up, we could go down, we could go sideways. So we'll have to come into the day as unbiased as possible. Yeah, Apple's still going. Apple's nuts, man. And this is something I wanted to talk about today. When you see Apple moving the way it does, that's just very strong for the market. That's big. When you see Apple moving the way it is, Apple's a big part of the market. And when Apple moves like that, you know it's going to help out the overall market. So Apple's awesome this morning again, 161.40s, up about $1 a share in the pre-market. So we will go ahead and take a look at that. But hopefully everyone had a good weekend. The Giants play today, so that should be fun. Hopefully everyone had a good weekend for their NFL teams. Rangers had a great game yesterday. Who else? What else happened this weekend that was exciting? What else did I do? I didn't do much. Hung around the house, did some home improvement. I love home improvement. Hopefully you guys had a good weekend. All right, so one more thing before we get into everything. First of all, Thursday, guys, market's closed, so don't forget that. I will not be here Thursday. I will not be here Friday. So Thursday, Friday of this week, no live streams. So nothing on Thursday, nothing on Friday. Just make sure you remember that. Live streams won't be here, and the market is also closed on Thursday. And Friday is going to be a dead silent day. Usually it is, because everyone's on vacation. Friday's probably going to be a slow day. It's right in between the weekend, so it's really, Monday through Wednesday today, or this week. That is basically what we're looking at. So short week, make sure you remember that. I feel great. Alice, thank you. Feel really good. Coming back strong. So that's the first thing to remember. Second thing, we have some economic news this week, which is funny enough with such a short week. So here, let's bring that up. So Wednesday, day before Thanksgiving, that's probably the biggest day. You have a lot of stuff here on Wednesday. Jobless claims. You got these durable goods that always come out, capital good orders, gross domestic income. You have a lot of stuff. You have the core inflation coming out, consumer spending. So this is going to be an interesting day right here. 5-year inflation expectations, FOMC minutes. So, yeah. It's a big Wednesday. This is the biggest. This is a lot of stuff coming out in one day. So, if you guys don't even want to mess around with this, then just be very careful. But this is a very big economic day. I've never seen a day have that much economic news on a Wednesday. And we also still have the lingering decision whether Jerome Powell will be back in Fed. So, this is very interesting. This is a lot of stuff. It's probably best to make sure. For me, guys, I don't overreact because on a daily basis I manage my risk. So I'm not gonna change. Maybe I'll go even less risk, but like on a normal day, I'm still being very risk adverse. So just continue to. If you're risk adverse, if you're good at risk management, you can continue to, continue as usual. If you're someone that takes big plays, maybe you be a little bit careful here on Wednesday. So, just want to bring that up. All right, let's go ahead and get started. If you guys want, real quick, press the like button. That would really help out. Thank you for all the support here, guys. Let's go ahead and do this. So, futures, as always, they look good this morning. We'll take a look at some of the levels. Earnings calendar, we'll take a look at that. We're ending earnings season here. We have a few left. I think we have probably more coming, but this week's pretty light. We'll go ahead and pull up that earnings calendar in a second. We have Tesla. So if you guys are on the live stream or if you're in the Discord, we were talking about that 1120 level, 1,120. This was a key level on Tesla. It went ahead and broke. It broke on Friday, and after breaking that, it was gone. So I want to show you guys Tesla today. It's up nicely in the pre-market, and I think it's all because we were able to break this 1120. This 1120 level was key, and I'll show you why, again, if you don't remember it from the previous streams. Nvidia. I still got some sinuses going on here. But Nvidia, still going. Post-earnings, continuation. I'm in a few plays. I'm in a January play. I'm in a few short-term plays. Happy to see Nvidia continuing. And we'll see if that can continue today as well. But Nvidia, still very strong. Chip stock, still strong. Nvidia post-earnings. So this just is another play on a daily basis. Nvidia looks great. Once again. I mean, it's looked good. I've said the same thing for 2 months now here on the stream. So, Facebook. Facebook had a great day on Friday. It moved up quite a bit, up into the 350s. Now, it gave back quite a bit of the move as well, which is something that Facebook typically does. So every time it gets above 345, it gets into some trouble. So we did pull back intraday, but we were able to hold 345. I think this was a big deal. I think the 345 hold was a big deal. We pushed higher, pulled back, held it as support, and now we're moving off of it this morning. I think this is a good job. I think this is a good step in the right direction for Facebook. As you guys know, I have December's and January's pretty heavy in it. I'm a very strong believer in Facebook comeback. So I like this hold here on Facebook. Apple. We'll talk a little bit about Apple, how it's caught up to the market, how it does this all the time. It lags the market, and then it catches up. And every time it lags the market, it is such a great opportunity. And this is why I've just been buying the crap out of it with shares. I have like close to $10,000 in shares now in Apple, and I just will continue to buy it. I just love Apple. I think it's a great long-term play. I don't think you can go wrong with putting your money in it long term. You have to really think long term though, right? This is not like, I'm gonna play it for the long term and then sell it if it drops 5%. That's not playing for the long term. Long term is you buy some here, and if it drops 5%, you buy even more. But Apple, really like it. Going to continue to play with Apple long term. It looks great. I'll show it to you guys today. eBay. I got into eBay last week. It looks okay. I like the setup. I went in pretty small. It's just a little bit of a trade that I'm seeing if it works out. I like the technicals. I like quite a bit about it. So if I'm right, I'm right. It's going to be a good play. If I'm wrong, I take my loss. I move on. I mean, what else is there to do, right? So eBay, I'll go ahead and show you guys the play I took. Yeah, I'm absolutely holding the long terms through Wednesday. Absolutely. That's not going to change my decision. Netflix, 675. So Netflix, if you guys remember, we had a 645 level, right? We talked about this level multiple times in the stream. We had a 645 level. I think that level has moved up to 675, and I think it looks like it's holding very well. So I want to show you guys. Netflix 675 today. PayPal and Square just dying, guys. These payment processors are getting hurt. Or these, whatever you want to call PayPal and Square, even Affirm's starting to move down, but they're sort of different. Affirm's slightly different. But PayPal and Square just are getting no love from anywhere. Visa, MasterCard have been under some trouble from some recent news. So this sector is getting hurt. So be careful here, guys. I want to show you guys some key levels on these two because these are not looking too hot right now. PayPal and Square. Stock-specific moves. We'll wrap up the stream by talking a little bit about how we've seen how some of these moves have been so stock-specific. It's like there's like a select few that have been moving up with this market, whereas almost everything else has been getting killed. So it's very stock specific right now, which can make it quite difficult. There's times where the market moves up and everything moves up, which makes it very easy because you could buy literally anything and you'd make money to the upside. Sometimes when we move up, it's very stock specific. It's being driven by a few names, maybe 5 to 10 names driving the market higher. That's when you have to make sure you're on the right name, right? Make sure you're on the right stock. Make sure you're in the hot sector and you're not playing around in cold sectors. That can mess you up. Like right now, cold sectors, PayPal Square, the payment processor, very cold. The stay-at-home trade was pretty cold the last few weeks until that news came out about Austria. But that stay-at-home trade was very weak. The banks have been sort of slow lately. So there's definitely cold and hot sectors, and it seems like the hot sector is very stock-specific right now. So we'll go ahead and talk about that. All right, and then we'll go over some of the. Let me go ahead and pull up. Let me get the Google Docs going. I think Nvidia is going to 400 regardless. I don't know the timing, but I think it's clearly going to 400 in the long term. I don't think that's a question. Let me go ahead and set up the Google Docs here. I got to get it all cleaned up for you guys real quick. Sorry, I forgot about it. I'll post it in a second here. 11:22. All right. So if you guys want to, look at tickers today with me at the end of the stream, I'm gonna go ahead and post the link here in just a second, and you guys can post your tickers there as long as you are a member of the live stream, member of the YouTube channel. Here we go. All right. So right here, it's gonna be pinned in the live chat for you guys to see. If you are a member of the channel, you can press on that. It'll bring up a Google Docs, and you can go ahead and put in your tickers. Make sure to put it in the right date, please. 11/22 is today's date. All right. Let's get started. Tesla spitting again. I didn't hear that, but I don't know. It could be possible. All right, let's look at the earnings calendar real quick. Here we go. Earnings calendar. Alrighty, so we don't have much. We have a few. Today after close, Zoom. That's really the big one that I'd see here. Zoom, today after close. Tomorrow before open, Dick's Sporting Goods, Best Buy, American Eagle, Dollar Tree. I don't really trade Abercrombie and Fitch, but Abercrombie and Fitch, Burlington. So some decent, some retailers. This is probably a good big day for retail right here. After close, HP, Gap, Nordstrom, still a lot of retailers here. Autodesk, John Deere before open Wednesday, and that's about it, guys. So nothing crazy, but retailers. It looks like retailers are the hot one here on Tuesday. A lot of retailers reporting on Tuesday. That's what I'd be keeping an eye out for. That may give us some insight on retail strength. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's look at NASDAQ. NASDAQ daily chart. Here we go. So we're on a nice move, guys. Nice little pullback. We held that uptrend perfectly. We talked about it here every single day on the live stream. So hopefully you guys took advantage of that. We were spot on with the live stream with the uptrend that we held, that we pushed higher. Looks absolutely beautiful. This was an 8% drop. I'm looking for a 20% pop. So 20% brings us up to around 17,200. That's my target here into end of year. 17,200 on the NASDAQ is a 20% move off the highs. Why do I want to get that? Because that is what happened here. This was 8% to 20%. I'm looking for 8%. Right here, we got 8%. I'm looking for another 20%. So 20%. This was over about a span of 4 months. So 4 months from the lows here would bring us out to around February, early February. So if we get there around early February, that could be what I'm looking for. But it looks like we are on a very strong slope here, right? This is the slope, 20% over 120 days. That's about right here, right? So this was the slope that the market was on during the April, May, June, July, August rally. That was right here. the slope that we are on here is quite a bit stronger, right? So I was thinking about 1720 a little bit after end of year. Right now, it looks like we might get there pretty quickly. So I still think we can move 20%. We're just about 15% to the high, 15% off the lows, and we're coming into a potentially hot market. So hot period for the market. So I'm still very bullish here on the NASDAQ, extremely. If we go to the hourly chart, I'll show you guys the uptrend that we held, that we talked about multiple times here. We'll go ahead and zoom out and take a look at that. So it started on the 18th of October. So 18th of October brings you back to here. This is it right here, 18th of October. You draw your trend line, and you guys can see we held this thing perfectly. So here, bounce, overextended, had to pull back. When you're overextended over a trend line, you have to pull back. You pulled back, you retested it, and you held it four times there. Beautiful. Now we're pushing higher. Now, guys, what I would be keeping an eye out for, that was the daily chart before, Mark. What I'd be keeping an eye out for are these highs right here. Now, if we get a pullback, you definitely want to see these highs hold. The 16,400, this is big. If we do pull back, which we definitely could, that is definitely where you want to see hold. Now, why do I say that? Because you have previous highs, you have previous highs, you have previous highs, you have previous highs. So this is a very important level. If you get a pullback, you do not want to see that break down. You want to see that hold, right? So 16.4 to the downside is our very big support. And we can also continue to keep this uptrend going, just in case we ever pull back again. Just keep on drawing the uptrend out. See if this thing continues to hold, right? So if we do pull back, look at the uptrend and then the 16.4 level. Besides that, guys, we're at all-time highs in the pre-market. I can't really help you, in the very short term. I would just say watch the previous day levels. So maybe if we go to the 5-day, 5-minute, we can look at Friday's levels. So Friday's highs were right around here, which is right where we found support in the pre-market, right around the 16,620. You can see right there, 16,620. I'd watch that today. That was Friday's highs. Friday's lows were right around this, I think probably right around this structure point in the market here, you could call it, right around that 16,530. You may even be able to bring it back down to right around 16.5. So 16.5, I would say, is probably your next very strong support level. Right there, around 16.5. That was Friday's lows. Some pre-market or after-hour support right there. So those are some levels I'd watch, guys. You have 16.620. That's Friday's highs. Friday's highs. You have the Friday lows of around 16.5. And then you have the big level at 16.4. 16.4 big level is right here, right? So we definitely have some support to the downside. I'm very bullish here. If there's pullbacks, there's pullbacks. I could care less. If there is, I look for opportunity. But right now, everything looks great. Technicals have held up every single day, guys. All last week, all the week prior. On the pullback, where did we hold? We held the uptrend. Talked about it here on the YouTube channel. Got some hate for it, but you guys can see what we're doing now. So as long as you keep your emotions out of the game, you can read the technicals. And I don't think anyone that actually reads technicals that doesn't let emotions get into their mind would have thought that was bearish here, because it held up every technical level you could have hoped for. So make sure to watch technicals on pullback. Stop letting emotions get in your head. NASDAQ held up beautifully, and we continue to be very bullish here. ES. A little bit of trouble on the ES, I'm not going to lie. I don't love the ES as much as the NQ right now. I think there's a lot more tech. I think the tech sector is heating up much more than everything else. So I'm a little bit concerned about the ES here, guys, because you can see this level is still not broken. This level is still very, very much stuck here on the ES. This 4710 level does not look too hot. We are still on, a little bit of an uptrend, higher highs, higher lows. Or I'm not sorry, higher highs, about the same lows. So this is a little bit of a wedge, right? An ascending wedge here. Is this bullish? Potentially. But could you see something like this if tech takes over and, say, the Dow stocks start to really get killed? Could you see this move on this ES while tech goes higher? It's possible. That would be some pretty insane rotation into tech if you saw the ES do that. Yeah, so I would keep an eye on this. I would keep an eye on this 47.10. Very, very tough level here. Very, very tough level at the 47.10. So I would keep an eye on that and then watch this little higher low, little wedge forming. If you break below that, this could get a little bit interesting. So ES not quite doing it. Just watch this heavy resistance level that we are sitting at, and we're rejecting off of today again. So keep an eye on that level. Finally, all right, we'll look at the YM and the RTY. But YM, guys, still, because if the YM is weak, the ES is going to be brought down with it. The NASDAQ is totally independent of those, pretty much. The ES has a lot of Dow names in it still, so the ES will get brought down more than the NASDAQ if we start to move down. So the Dow is weak, right? Dow is weak. Dow is not very hot right now. Now, what is Dow stocks are also bringing down the ES. That's why the ES has been starting to lag here. The ES is like the middleman between the Dow and the NASDAQ. So the ES is getting brought down with the Dow, while the NASDAQ has really not much correlation to it, and you can see is moving well higher. So the NASDAQ is very little correlated to the Dow because it's all tech. Tech is hot during this period right now because of the news that came out last week about Austria shutting down and Europe lockdowns. That affected the Dow, right? So the Dow got affected. That's bringing the ES with it. Not quite as much as you'd expect because the ES still has some of those tech names that are holding it up slightly, but it's still not performing like the NASDAQ is. So you can still be bearish here on the Dow and on the ES and be bullish on the NASDAQ. That's possible. It's not a very normal situation because typically you'd think that the ES would move higher with the NASDAQ. But if these Dow stocks really start to get hurt here, which they are, the ES is going to lag the NASDAQ. It's just going to. So, yeah, you have to understand that. So, yeah, ES lagging the NASDAQ. NASDAQ clearly the strongest here. Dow clearly the weakest. So, a little bit of downside on the Dow because of the news last week. Do I think that's long-lasting? Probably not. Probably get over that pretty quick, but you are getting a pullback. So, I would still watch this 35.5. It's very clear, 35.5. That's these previous highs. You definitely don't want to see us break this 35.5. That would be a pretty nasty break. If we saw this, a rejection and a lower low, that's pretty nasty for the Dow. I don't think that would happen. You really need to see the market start to fall lower here. But keep an eye on it. Dow is definitely weak. 35.5. That's what I'd be watching on the Dow. If you guys are looking for upside, I would not be looking at Dow stocks. I would definitely be looking at the tech. Tech seems to be heating up a little bit. Finally, we'll look at the RTY. This is the Russell. The Russell's doing a very similar thing here. You can see we're coming back down to that previous retest level. Here's the daily chart. So just like the Dow, we pulled back to these previous highs. You guys can see right here. 1, 2, and 3. Previous highs, pushed higher, pulled back. Looks like we're trying to hold here. So if you guys are looking at small caps, looking at the Russell, look to see if we can hold this retest level here, right around 2340, 2345. That is what I'd be watching. All right, guys, so that's the futures. Overall, you have a busy week with economic news, so be careful. It could definitely change the trajectory of what I just showed you. But as of right now, if you don't try to guess what happens in the future, which a lot of people like to do, if you don't like to try to guess what happens in the future, right now, tech is strong. That's the strong one. The NASDAQ is the strong index. If you want to go with the trend and you want to go to the upside, I think you got to look at tech names. So that's what I would say. Obviously, things can change, but I can't tell what happens in the future, guys. I apologize. I wish I could. I wish I could tell the future for you. Like someone asked this morning on the live stream, will the market continue to move higher this week? Guys, don't Don't ever ask someone that question. That is such a foolish question to ask anyone. I hate when I see that question. I'm sorry, I'm going to be real with you. You might not like me for this, but those questions just can't be asked, guys. It's if you're trying to get that answer from someone, you just have your mindset problem. You cannot answer those questions. No one can answer if the market is going to go higher this week. No one can answer if the market is going to go lower. No one can tell you what the market's going to do. If someone out there is telling you what the market's going to do this week, they are sadly mistaken, and they are very wrong to even be thinking they can answer that question. So that's something to remember. All right, so let's go ahead and get started here with the stocks. Tesla, awesome move on Tesla. Awesome move on Tesla. So why did Tesla move higher? I can tell you the market is closed on Thursday. I can tell you that too. That is something I could tell you. That is something I can tell you. So why did Tesla move higher last week? This is why, guys. So here's the hourly chart. Now, we had a level at 1120. We had a level for 1120. Now, why 1120? The reason 1120 is because we had previous highs here. You guys can see it right here. If I drag this over, we bring this to 1120. So right here, you guys can see previous highs. It got rejected again on Wednesday of last week, right here. Rejection. 1120 was tough, very tough level. You guys can see all right here in the recent trend, 1120, very tough resistance. Now, what would a break above 1120 do for us? 1120 break to the upside would give you a higher high. You needed a higher high on this market to make this go higher. You needed a higher high to be bullish. So when you get consolidation, what do you need to be bullish? You need higher highs and higher lows. You had a very nice little push higher. You had somewhat of a hold here at this level, so you could probably call this a little bit of a higher low. Started to push higher, and the break here on Friday, that solidifies your higher high. This is now engulfing this price action. This is now bullish. Now, could this pull back? Of course it could. Of course it could pull back. Maybe it's going to pull back, probably will look, you see these resistance right around 1190s. You guys can see very big wicks around 1190s. 1, 2, 3, big wick there. 4, 5, 6, 7, huge resistance level at 1190. It's showing you the resistance level. It's very clear there. So 1190 is going to be very tough. But if we get something like this, I would love that. I would love to see this pullback, which we probably won't get. But if we do, I'm going to be buying Tesla here for sure. Right back to 1120. That would be great. A little break and retest, hold of these previous highs. That would be really clean. I'm not sure you're going to get that. But if you do, that could be a very nice entry. If you do not, and this thing goes straight up today, 1190, guys, be careful around here. If it gets rejected at 1190, it's very clear why. There's a huge amount of resistance in this area. If it breaks that, then you're probably going to highs, I would assume. I would assume you're going to highs if you break this 1190, because that is a very big level. So watch 1190 as resistance today. Watch 1120 as a retest support. In between this zone, guys, I really can't help you. In between this zone, very difficult for me to say. This is a sort of a free zone. Not sure where Tesla goes in this area because really the structure points are 1120 and 1190. In between this is anyone's best guess, in my opinion. Maybe you watch these lows here. You guys can see some of these lows that came in around 1150. You guys see back here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Some lows there around 1150. Maybe you watch that. Yeah, 1150, Joseph. Nice. I saw it too. So maybe around this 1150, that's what I'd watch. You guys can see right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These lows, these highs. So keep an eye in this range, 1150 to 1190, 1120 to the downside, the ultimate downside. Those are the levels I'd watch today, guys. We break this down a little bit closer. 1150 is right around where that gap up started this morning. So maybe if you get a pullback to that 1150 and then hold there, that could be nice. So keep an eye on this one, guys. But this is looking a little hot. Definitely some levels to keep an eye out for today. Definitely. All right. That's Tesla. Let's go ahead and run into Nvidia here. So daily chart, Nvidia, just awesome, man. Just awesome. I really don't have any other things to say. I'm a very big bull on Nvidia. I think Nvidia is everything that the world is going to need in the future. I think the direction that the world is going, Nvidia is going to be one of the most valuable companies in the world, in my opinion. It probably already should be, but it's not quite there. I think Nvidia will quickly become one of the most valuable companies in the world. I think it hits $1 trillion market cap. I foresee what's. I don't know if I'm right. Like, I could be wrong, but just if you think the world is going to innovate in the future, guys, if you think technology is going to be innovative, if you have any innovation hope for the world, to the future of this world, you have to be bullish on Nvidia, because they are one of the very few companies that has the products that are necessary for that innovation. So I think Nvidia looks great. I'm going to continue to buy shares of it. Of course, there's going to be pullbacks along the way, but if you're a long-term investor, I really don't think you can go wrong with Nvidia here. You do have a gap on the daily chart to be aware of, right? This could fill. It doesn't have to fill. There's no guarantee that this has to fill here in the next year, 2 years, 3 years. It could fill in 4 or 5 years. Maybe some reason it comes down. I don't know. But it does not have to fill. Now, gaps do tend to fill the gap, but there's no timing to it. It's not like, they fill the gap within 3 weeks of the gap being formed, right? That's not really a statistic, I don't believe. So you have to see, when does the gap fill. It may fill eventually, but I like the upside. I think Nvidia is strong, and I'd still look for upside here. So in the short term, we'll go to let's go to the hourly chart. Here's the hourly chart, guys. So last week on Thursday, we pushed into all-time highs and we got rejected, right? So here were the previous all-time highs. On Thursday, we pushed into it and we rejected pretty nasty. Pulled back, held up around this 313, which was a perfect hold, actually. Talked about this on the live stream. This was a perfect hold at 313. I'll show you why. It was these previous highs right here. Previous highs. When we pulled back on Thursday, we held this beautifully. Look at this. Push, pull back, hold of 313, push higher. Beautiful. I'm in some Januaries. I'm in some this week's. So I think Nvidia, I'm going to continue to play this thing. Nvidia looks great. Pull back to 313 last week was a perfect entry. I think I got into it pretty close to that area. I think I got into it. I definitely got into some on Thursday, or I'm sorry, on Friday. I got a January 400 call on Friday. Yeah, and then on Thursday, I got in some 330 calls. So I like it. I'm going to continue to like it. Very bullish on Nvidia. We'll see what happens today. I'd probably look to see if we do get a pullback to 328, 327 area. That could be a nice little retest zone. So watch that. See if we get a pullback to this retest zone here. 327, 328. Facebook. All right, so Facebook. It's a little bit of a jumpy one, but overall, guys, this is the 4-hour chart, right? And I think this is creating a very nice comeback, right? I think this is creating a very nice build back higher. I really like what we're starting to form here. If we go to the daily chart, you guys can see this was a little bit of an inverse head and shoulders that we talked about. I'll show it to you right here. You have your head, and you have your right shoulder, and you have your left shoulder. This is a little bit of an inverse head and shoulders with a little bit of a neckline, like right around here. So you held the neckline, 324, right? You have this left shoulder, right shoulder, head. When I saw that, I was, it kept me pretty bullish here on Facebook. Looks like we're trying to push higher, but we're having a lot of resistance here in the daily. You can see it by these two wicks. These two wicks here in the daily chart show you resistance, right? because you pushed up here to 350s, closed about at around 347, pushed up higher around 352, closed right back at 345. So there definitely is some resistance in this area. I think this 100 SMA is what's killing us right now. So we're going to have to clear that 100 SMA, which is around at $350 a share. That's what we're going to have to get above for sure. So that's something I'll keep an eye out for. But in the short term, what I like to see last week was there's a very important 350 level, 345 level. I'm going to try to get it on a different, let me make sure I can get all of it for you. Here we go. All right, guys, so 345 has been a very tough level. When you get anywhere near it, resistance starts to come in. So even in this area, resistance started to come in. Right here, resistance came in. You came up higher, pulled back right under 345. And what we saw on Friday, this is a little bit different, right? This looks actually pretty good. Now, why do I say that? Because look at what it did. Look at what Facebook did. It broke through 345 and actually held it as a retest level. I like that. That's a little bit of a change in momentum, I believe. So that 345 retest hold on Friday, you guys can see right here. See how it pushed higher, pulled back, and held it? That's pretty nice to me. I think that's very nice. So I'm going to keep an eye on Facebook today. I think that's a beautiful hold. If it holds above 345 today, I think you're set. I think you are for more upside. You have this nice little uptrend that's continuously holding. So I like the comeback. I'm still pretty convicted on this comeback on Facebook, guys. We'll see what happens, but I like the 345 hold that we saw on Friday. All right. Apple, awesome. Awesome. Just awesome. Daily chart. So what we can talk about on Apple, now that this is straight up, I really can't help you. Maybe you look for the pullback here around 157. But what I will say about Apple, guys, is it lags the market so hard. And when you can catch it lagging the market, you have some great opportunity, right? So the NASDAQ was hitting all-time highs into November, and this thing continued to lag. And it finally caught up. And it did the same thing here in May, June, July, August. When we had that other rally on May, June, July, August, it caught up to the move, and it did fantastic with the NASDAQ. So I like how Apple's catching up. I love the consolidation that we saw here over the last few months, right around this 140 to around 150s, you can call it, a little bit of consolidation. We're starting to break out of it. I think Apple continues. This move is a little bit due to the news about the Apple car that's supposedly coming out. I don't know how long this. I think that definitely pumped this up a little bit. That could give back some. I don't think you hold up this whole move, guys. Apple doesn't traditionally just go crazy. But if you do look at this move, right, you can see this was a 21% move back in May, and the only retracement that we ever saw from that move was about a 38% retracement. So you guys get 38.2% retracement. So from here, these highs to this retracement, from here to here, you had about, this was about a 7% drop. This was a 38.2% retracement there on the fibs. So, Apple never gave back this huge move that it did back here in June and July, right? So you can see this was about a 21% move. So if Apple goes 21% from here, that brings you around, 176. Let's call it 176. If you draw a fib there, a 38% retracement would be right around 165. So if you do move up to around, the 20% that we did back here, you can probably only look for about 165 of a retracement if we ever get back up there. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, guys. But very nice move on Apple. Congratulations to anyone that continues to buy the stock. It just seems like a no-brainer to me. I just when you can accept the fact that you're looking long term, when you can accept the fact that investing is actually a way to make money and not just trading all the time, and you can just buy long term positions, you just sort of realize like this stuff's not going to go. At least in in the history that I've seen the market, guys, it's never gone down for an extended period of time, right? So Why psych your what's the point of psyching yourself out to think that that's going to change? I'm someone that's going to continue to believe in what history has done until it's changed, and I'll be the first one to get affected by it. I don't care. But I'll also be the first one in line to take advantage of what's happened for the last how many years, where the market just continues to grind higher. I'll withstand the downside, but over history, we've seen the market go higher. Once you can accept that fact and stop letting yourself try to guess when the top is and get scared about, a market pullback, you will continue to reap the benefits of these stocks just going higher nonstop. Now, one day that'll probably all come down. We'll have a dip, 20%, 25%, but guess who wins out of that? Usually the bulls again, because if you buy those dips, you make money again. So, yeah, Apple continues to go higher. It's awesome. I would buy it. I'm buying it. eBay. I got into eBay. I got into some February calls. February, right? Yes, February calls on eBay. Want to give myself time. About February, you got, November, January. So you got about December, January. You got about 3 months, right? About 3 months of time on this contract. eBay, I like it. Now, why do I like it? First of all, I'm looking at the weekly chart. Weekly chart has a 20 SMA here. Lucid. eBay right here. Been scared. How do I buy dips? You got to buy dips with money you can afford to lose. All right. 20 SMA on the weekly chart right here. You guys can see that pullback. Look at the 20 SMA. I like that. I'm very bullish on it holding that 20 SMA. Why? Why am I bullish on it holding the 20 SMA? Because it's done it for the last year. So if it's done it for the last year, I'm going to go ahead and say that it does it again. Why do I say that? Because I'd rather play on statistics, on the fact that it's done it the last 5 attempts it's held, and I'm gonna play it on the side that it does it again. If it doesn't do it again, then I take my loss. I'm not scared to lose. But what I will do is I'll take my risk where I think risk should be put on, and I think risk should be put on here at the 20 SMA once again on eBay. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I take my loss. I move on. I don't care. If I'm right, all I did was I looked at the 20 SMA and the weekly. It's held it 5 times. It's holding it again. And I like that. So I'm going to play it off that. Also, 100 SMA on the daily chart, which is very similar to that 20 SMA on the weekly, holds it almost every single time. You guys can see nice hold, nice hold. A little bit overextended here, but held up nicely. Nice hold here, nice hold here, nice hold here. 100 SMA, I like it. You're finding a little bit of resistance in this area. It's very clear. You can see a little bit of these wicks, but it did that every other time, right? And it ended up moving higher. So I'm going to see, can we hold here at the 100? If not, I take my loser under the 100 SMA. If it does, then I get to play this thing back towards highs. So that's my play on eBay. That's what I'll be watching to see if it works out. If not, it's all good. We'll see what happens. So that Fed news is coming today, huh? Damn. Okay, that's going to be interesting. All right, that's eBay. Netflix. All right, guys, Netflix. Go to the 4-hour, I believe I saw this on. Yeah. Okay, 4-hour chart. So the last time we were talking about Netflix, excuse me. The last time we were talking about Netflix, we were talking about the 645 level. You guys remember this, right? So 645 was a beautiful hold. We saw this. This was perfect. Unfortunately, I didn't catch much of this move. Caught some of it. Should have got more. But still a nice move. Now, next, 675. This looks to be another level here. You guys can see previous resistance turned into support, turned into support, turned into support. This is not just some magic here on the chart. This is a previous resistance level turning into support. I think this is a very crucial level to watch. If Netflix holds this 675, I think you get your push to 700 again. I think this continues higher. Netflix continues to stair step higher. Guys, this has done this for the last few months 3 times, guys. Look at this. You have previous highs right here. You move higher, you pull back, you double bottom at it. Next, previous highs. You push higher, you pull back, you double bottom at it. Previous highs, you push higher, you pull back, potentially double bottom at it. Does it go higher? I don't know. Does the chart look like it should? Yes. That's what I'll say. So you guys can see, guys, I'm not just making this up. Previous highs, double bottom. Previous highs, double bottom. Previous highs, double bottom. Does it happen again? I don't know. But I would definitely watch it. That's all I'll say. PayPal. I just want to quickly show you guys. I'm not going to get too much into the charts because I'm not going to try to time a bottom here. All I'm going to show you guys and talk to you about is the fact that this sector is very, very weak. Very weak. I don't know what else to say about it. It's just this is looking pretty weak, guys. So PayPal, Square, payment processors, they're getting really weak here. You thought I thought PayPal should hold a lot of levels before it didn't, right? So I thought PayPal should hold here. It definitely did not. I thought PayPal should hold this level here. You guys can see right here. I thought PayPal should hold this area around 210. It definitely did not. And the next level is probably back down to 173. So this is not a knife that I would be catching. This is like catching this is like catching the sharpest samurai sword out there, like with your bare hands. This is just nasty. So I would not try to catch this. This is a very weak sector right now. They're getting bled out. PayPal is definitely getting killed. The next one that's getting killed is Square. Yeah, no, once it finds the bottom, it might be a buy, but right now, definitely not, guys. I mean, I would keep it on your chart, but it just does not seem ready there. Square, this is another one that looks like it's starting to bleed out as well. Square broke this uptrend here on the daily chart. You guys can see we had an uptrend. We broke it. We rejected it back to the downside. If Square drops below this 225 level here, guys, I think things get a little bit scary. It actually is below it here in the morning. It's actually below it here in the morning. So we are below this level here, which is looking a little concerning. This was a little bit of a level that I would have liked to see hold, but it's not right now. So the next level I think is probably back down towards this 202. So if you do break down this 225, I think you're coming back to this 202. If PayPal continues to be weak, I just don't see how Square can move higher. If it's just going to be a sector type move. So PayPal and Square are very correlated at times. This is potentially Square looking pretty weak here as well. Maybe back down to the 200s, the low 200s. Affirm, which is not really that correlated, but it's definitely in sort of the payment space. You're getting weakness here. You guys can see Affirm tried to push higher, rejected the 20 SMA on the daily, rejected this previous support here, and started to move lower, right? So this is a little bit of a lower high that formed here, right? Because you got a move down, right? You got to move down. You tried to push back higher. You rejected, and you're moving back down. So this is a little bit nasty on Affirm. I would definitely want to see this 131 hold. If that does not, you're probably coming back down to 107. Upstart, another one sort of in this space, a little bit different, but sort of in the space. Had a huge move, gapped down off earnings, tried to push higher, rejected, getting killed right now. So there's definitely some moves that just do not look good, guys. I mean, it's very, very different, right? You would say, oh, if the NASDAQ's going to all-time highs and Nvidia is doing this, right, going straight up, wouldn't you expect some other tech names like Square and PayPal to be going up? Well, that's not the fact right now. Sometimes that is the fact. Sometimes you see all these things move together. But as of right now, there is some weak stuff out there. So be careful. Don't try to catch the weak stuff until you see something actually change, right? Right now, I am focused on Nvidia, AMD, Amazon, Shopify, the good ones. This Tesla, this Home Depot has been crazy. Netflix has been strong. Roblox has been great. I'm going to continue to focus on those. I'm not going to go try to find these weak names right now and try to buy them. I just don't think that's the right thing to do. As of right now, for me personally, I just don't think it's that time. So I'm going to continue to ride the stuff that's moving higher. And I'm going to forget about the stuff that's moving lower. I'm not going to try to catch that stuff right now. So that's my plan. I'm just going to stick with the stuff that's hot. Stick with the hot sectors. It's mostly that metaverse trade still. It's still that metaverse trade. It really is. So that's what I'll say. That sort of goes into our last topic, the stock-specific moves. That is something that I think you guys should focus on. It's 8:50. I'm going to quickly go over some of the stuff that you guys want to look at. If you guys could, we only have 200 likes here. So I would love to see if you guys could press that like button for me. That would be great if you could help me out there. All right, we got some. We're not going to be able to get to all these. I'm going to have to start leaving more time here. So let's go over some of the names. Let's go over some of the names that we can go ahead and go over here. So real quick, press that like button for me, guys. That would be greatly appreciated. Let's go over some of these stocks. We got to get out of here. Let's go over. We got 5 minutes. Let's see what we can get done in 5 minutes. So Tsm Taiwan Semiconductors. 1, 2, 3, 4. Watch this resistance. 125. That's what I'd be watching. 125. Looks pretty tough of a resistance level. I would definitely be aware of that. Palantir. If you're someone that likes to trade the channel on Palantir, you're back at the bottom of this channel. Can you trade Palantir back to the upside like it's done every other time? Maybe. This could be a good trade. So Palantir, back to the upside. Could be a very good trade. Just watch it off that 21. It's held there multiple times. LRCX. So you got Lam Research. This thing's been on a nice move lately. Just be careful of this resistance. It's getting rejected here once again. Right here at 655. Very concerning little resistance here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Getting rejected. Watch that level. Intuit. Big earnings move. Looks to be giving up some of that move. I would just be aware of the gap, guys. Be aware of the huge gap on the daily chart. It's right around a $40 gap. If it does not hold the below of this candle, which is 681, if it breaks under 681.46, then I think you start to fill that gap to the downside. So be careful of that. Team. Yeah, a little bit of a break and retest maybe. Watch this little previous high here. Mozam at 430. I'd watch that. If it doesn't hold that 430, then I think you probably come back to these previous highs. 413. Roblox. Roblox is just straight up here, guys. You're just going to have to watch the trend in the short term. You got a little bit of an uptrend that's formed here to some extent. Right there, you can see that uptrend. And then you just want to watch some of these previous levels, right? So you have that uptrend that's held. Watch Friday's highs, right? Friday's highs is support. Watch Friday's lows as support. So you just want to watch those previous day levels. As of right now, I'd watch Friday's highs right around this 137 as support. And you have that uptrend. So you just got to watch that thing short term. It's just straight up. FSLR. Not sure much about this solar trade right now, but whoops. I'm not too familiar with solar right now. I know solar, it's been pretty hot lately. I'd watch this hold right here. This looks like a pretty decent hold at 102. You guys can see a little double bottom. You definitely want to see that hold there, an FSLR. Macy's, I don't know, guys. Macy's, not really a stock I trade. I would probably watch this gap fill, this earnings gap fill back to 32. Affirm we went over. AMD is very similar to Nvidia, guys. I think it stays hot with the chip sector. Daily chart looks a little weird there. You probably just want to you definitely just want to hold these levels here. You guys can see right here. 1, 2. You guys can see right there, 154. Resistance turned into support. 154, that's what I'd be watching on AMD. Hood, guys, I would not be looking for upside on Hood. It's been getting crushed. Yeah, I mean, look at this 30-minute chart. It's straight down. So, yeah, guys, Hood, ugly. I wouldn't look for anything but downside there. What's the point of looking for upside right now? Zoom, I don't know, guys. I think the stay-at-home trade's dying. I think Zoom's going to be... I just don't really like Zoom. I think it got pushed up way too much. I think people started to think it was more than what it was. So this is a very crucial level on Zoom. 249. If this does not hold here, it's going to be nasty. That has to hold on Zoom. I wouldn't play it into earnings. I don't see the point. This is Boeing on the weekly chart. You guys know Boeing just continues to reject the downtrend. It just continues to reject the downtrend. That's all it does. So until Boeing can somehow prove that it's not rejecting the downtrend, I would not look for upside. Finally, Twitter puts. Yeah, Twitter's getting ugly. Twitter and Snap are ugly. You guys can see it right here. Breaking this key $50 level. It's at the 100 SMA on the weekly chart, so be aware of that. All right, guys, that's it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's stream. If you guys did, please press the like button for me. Let's get to at least 500-600 likes. That would be great. Monday, short week. Anything you guys could do really helps. Subscribe if you're new here. I'm going to go head over to the Discord chat. With that said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks for being here. Have a safe trading day. Remember, Wednesday's a huge economic day. Be careful. Play it safe. Don't lose your money. Have a great rest of your week. And great holiday week, I guess, right? So thanks again, guys. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace out.